International Airport. Private investigator Mr. Hunter Shongwe is suing former Member of Parliament Maqhawe Mavuso for 1 million after defamatory statements. Two siblings were involved in a physical fight following a land dispute. The news in detail. His Majesty King Yemaswati III jetted into the kingdom through the King Yemaswati III International Airport after His Majesty's visited a number of countries for a business trip. His Majesty visited the United Arab Emirates, the Republic of China, Taiwan, respectively. The Minister for Public Service, Honorable Mabulala Masego, officially launched the public management system at the Happy Valley Hotel, which is meant at monitoring the work that government employees does in different ministries of the kingdom. We have a report. Today at the Happy Valley Hotel in ESWATINI, there was a successful launch of the public management system. The public management system is a system that will be implemented in the ministries of the kingdom to monitor the performance of the employees there. Presenting the system, the Honorable Minister for Public Service, Honorable Mabulala Masego, mentioned that this is a great way to make sure that people who are working in different ministries of the kingdom will dedicate themselves in their work, and that Yemaswati are granted the help that they deserve when they go to the different ministries.
If you perform exceptionally, the tools that we are performing exceptionally well, and therefore, who reward, who promote, who down certain service, we're going to tools that we will say, are you fit to be promoted? Because the tools that damage. Utu umzala, uslobo samle sekanjani, uphelile. Lokushothi nje nangabe kumbe beyikhona ipothisi, ngangagcanga kodwa beyikhona. Kuphelile because this tool litavele lisho ukuthi sibani wakahlelo evula imbombo ihlelo uscorishe 98%, labanye beda ngo 60% kanjalo, and therefore kutaba nguye evula imbombi lokutase uyathatha uyapromote kutabe kusho le tools le lokushothi lona linciphisana lokuthiwa i-subjectivity, lokushothi ukuthi sitawa objective uma ngabe nyalo sesenta ema promotions. Sense nje asilibonge kakhulu le tools leli because lita increase the service delivery. Bekunokukhala eMaswatini lamane ngokuthi siyofuna ungaba ama passport ungaba certificate silayine elanga lonke sijike singakade ithola because kumbe loyo leso sisebenza decide kwakaljasi noma udecide ukukhicita 5 we certificate noma ama passport yet u expect ukuthi akhicite 50. Sithi ke lokho ngeke kusenteka because the tools itawusho ukuthi sibandeleti kwemsebenzi kungako uneline lenze kangaka kungako abantu baqhamuke emaparallel bajika abakhona ukusihlakala. Sesithi ke siyabonga kakhulu lokhu i-public service siyayibonga i-team.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Linda Shongwe ESWATINI. Private investigator Mr. Hunter Shongwe is suing a former Member of Parliament Maqhawe Mavuso following defamatory statements that Mavuso made in a live show at Channel Yemaswati. We have a report.
Private investigator Mr. Hunter Shongwe and former Mqweni Member of Parliament Mr. Maqhawe Mavuso had their day in court today, where Hunter is suing the former legislator for defamation of character. The defamation, according to Hunter, occurred on 2 occasions through Channel S and the Swazi Observer newspaper, where Mavuso allegedly accused Hunter of having bribed border police and other allegations which may not be repeated for ethical reasons, but were all in connection with the arrest of Mr. Clement Socha Dlamini in ESWATINI, who was subsequently handed over to the South African authorities for arrest by Shongwe. Hunter, who took the stand first, told the court that his image was tarnished by Mavuso's allegations during a live television show hosted by Mr. Chawe Mamba entitled People and Places. Shongwe told Judge Qinsile that it was during a live debate where he was publicly insulted. He said, as a private investigator, he never offers bribes and does not collude with anyone, let alone police. He denied that he trafficked Mr. Socha Dlamini, but said this was a gentleman's agreement between him and Mr. Dlamini that he crosses the border to face the law in South Africa. Mr. Maqhawe Mavuso said Hunter colluded with border authorities to let Dlamini cross the border without proper exit documents. For the record, Clement Dlamini was thereafter sentenced to 12 years in prison by Nelspruit Magistrate Court for stealing a truck owned by African Rainbow and selling it to a company in Mozambique. Yet his task was to transport goods to the same country. During cross-examination with senior counsel Leo Dlamini, Hunter said he was only armed with a trading license for his investigative work. He agreed that he was not legally mandated to extradite a person from Eswatini to South Africa. Leo also put it to Shongwe that he had approached the court with dirty hands because he was not an arresting officer and also do not have powers to extradite a person from country to country. Leo said Hunter failed to follow extradition procedure, therefore was not entitled to the 1 million claimed. His argument was that many wrongs cannot make a right. Hunter maintained his ground and said his suit was not about procedure but was merely an issue of defamation of character made through the Live People and Places show. Hunter was represented by Mr. Derek Jelle of Robinson Bertram, while Maqhawe Mavuso was represented by Leo Dlamini of L.N. Dlamini and Associates. The judge, however, did not take kindly the absence of Mr. Maqhawe Mavuso in court and ordered that Mr. Leo Dlamini summon him to court. However, he had not arrived at the conclusion of the case at around 3 p.m. For Channel Yemaswati News, I am Temalangeni Dlamini, High Court.
A grey Mercedes-Benz burst into flames today at the Malagwane Hill. We have a report. A grey Mercedes-Benz bent down at Malagwane Hill this morning. It is alleged that the cause of the accident are technical faults, as the engine was mostly damaged and burned. When our reporters arrived at the scene, we noted that members of the ESWATINI National Fire Department were already at the scene trying to put out the fire. Members of the Real Eswatini Police Service came and a statement was recorded. The driver of the Mercedes was seen walking around the car, and it was noted that he was driving alone and no one was injured. A member from the Real Eswatini Police Service under the Traffic Department, Mr. Smanga Mpila, mentioned that they are here to investigate the cause of the accident, but mentioned that the cause of the fire was indeed technical fault.
Lasola ukuthi pisuke ngetinzamo yaso yokhela umlilo isakhuphuka yona lensamo.
Ngabe khona yini labalimele?
Kude umlilo utsinzekile. Kube nje kulimala konke.
Mhlambe nje amaphoyisa ngathini ixwayisa sive especially kule weather lenje?
Uxwayisa sive nje weather nanje ukuthi maswati manashayele kahle. Angadali tingozi. Kunake netimoto ukuthi tingile tiphile
lena nanibuka nje yona yini le into ekugcile seyishile?
Siseta ukuchubeka neluphenyo uthola kabanti kayo ukuthi ngabe kwendekele.
He then cautioned drivers to drive as cautious as they can, especially during this weather, mentioning that people should reduce their speed to avoid accidents. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News, Malagwane. Members of different unions of the kingdom marched today to deliver a petition at the Ministry of Education and Training in Mbabane. Part of the workers' deep grievances is that they want answers as to why former SNATA President Mbongwa Dlamini's salary was stopped by the government. We have a report. Members of different unions in the kingdom today marched to deliver a petition at the Ministry of Education and Training today. Part of the unionist grievances is that they want answers pertaining the order to stop SNAT President Mbongwa Dlamini's salary. They mentioned that they are against the victimization of Dlamini.
Our presence and availability here does not necessarily mean we are only here for Comrade Mbongwa. Here, comrades are gathered to defend the principle.
Namhla siyadenyanya sembesa khamo. Kamuhlale mandini. Kodwa kagesi.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Linda Shongwe, Mbabane. in a physical fight today at Fairview under the Manzini region over a land dispute. We have a report.
Wasema la usoleba kubo ukuthi bambhulise nyamatana etakubo
wawubulala zwane lapha William Picture uthi ufuna ukumema umuntu wakhe
hawu wathi umbani lo
zwane lazange sesike simbone nalakhaya
bongambona kwashabe insana yakho yini
usephelele tinyangeni
la kodwa nje bale ukuthi ngim ukuthi gink
wakwende lutho
hawu mfana ake ngumfana kithi
siphelile wakina wasiphelile wakasiphelile
wakithi wamaki
nanyalo sobuya kwashela nabantu abami ubaxoshela ukuthi
awusuka la uyathi
bathi uwafakelane.
Mr. Petros Chonga is complaining about Masundvini committee. He stated that they have taken his house and given it to another woman who happens to be his sister. Mr. Chonga, Mr. Chonga stated that it has been 6 years and no one will want to talk about his issues. He stated that Mr. Kisimusi Ndlovu gave a final word stating that there is nothing else Mr. Chonga will have to report. Mr. Chonga mentioned that all this has been caused by the committee of Masundvini.
Libandla lasemasundvini licayela sengisaya ekhaya elingayelesaka kulokuqala selithengiseleli ke laliniketa ntombiswane lo ntombiswane samxosha lapha emashumi lamathathu eminyaka ahambile singamboni la khaya samxosha waphuma uhlala eSentries nasabuye eSentries so uyabuya so uthatha make umfaka ngala kanti lelikamelo leli besingena kulo lena ngamakhela yona ngifuna ke nyawo lokusenishuthi lenjena ngakwathi lokuyibhidlita ngakhela abantwana sabaxoshile impahla dabo nje tonke egcwele lapha endlini.
Yebo ungikhanza nga grade 2 uyamthatha make lo mkhulu leluve unalikhala salidimanda beniyomthatha kulo uyahlala 30 years sihlelitsine la khaya akayathi nalendlu yakho nini akayathi nalethi yakho yini nale lapha kwakunendlu yamalungu ngiyamangala nje awunyankwaphi wakamethule lo
bekanyankwaphi
yebo anginyankwaphi lo mkhulu la ngamphane nkosi mkonkolo
akuyoke kube nguye ngumkhwenyana
gogo walakhaya ngumthebe emakhaya wafa mhla ka 1965 ngangikhona nengiyomngcwaba.
Make Ntombizwane stated her side of the story, and that is when they started exchanging bitter words with Mr. Chonga. I am Renhlanhla Twala reporting for Yemaswati channel with Justice Dlamini in Manzini, Fairview.
The Ministry of Finance today mentioned that the African Development Bank will donate a sum of 3,658 malangeni towards His Majesty government that will go to state-owned enterprises. We have a report. The Ministry of Finance today in Babane announced that the African Development Bank has provided support of 3,658,000 for reforms of the state-owned enterprises SOEs as advised by a study that has been proven by the Cabinet. Delivering her speech, the Acting Principal Secretary in the Ministry, Busangani Mkhalipi, mentioned that Cabinet in 2018 developed a strategic roadmap and committed to implement a fiscal consolidation plan, and that over the past years, ESWATINI has been facing serious fiscal and cash flow challenges. She mentioned that in line with the government's strategic roadmap, the Ministry of Finance engaged in a study to rationalize and streamline the performance of the public enterprises in the economy.
The restructuring and rationalization of the public enterprises provides a golden opportunity for a reset in order to position public enterprises as a role model for public sector delivery, as well as to use them to drive value and wealth creation rooted on sustainability, good governance, innovation, and organizational resilience.
The senior economist in ESWATINI mentioned that they want to condemn the government for a strong commitment it has made for implementing the strategic economic and governance reforms in the recent years.
The specific objectives of the project include A, to review the relevant laws and policies for SOE governance, which will provide the backbone for the intended reforms to improve the legal and the regulatory framework for SOEs, to improve the management and performance of SOEs so as to increase accountability, competitiveness, and efficiency.
I am Zandile Mbabane for Channel Yemaswati News with Linda Shongwe, Mbabane. The Royal ESWATINI Police Service, in its quest to eliminate criminal activities, visited a Nyageni community where the residents were educated on crime prevention. We have a report.
Following that Christmas is around the corner, the Eswatini police decided to teach the community of Nyageni about how to fight against crime in the area. This was during the event of Chief Jogovu. The residents were taught about Stokvels, and that's during the Christmas holidays when the Stokvel members decide to go and buy their groceries. It is best that they alert the police.
Banato tindlela mhlawumbe lapho ukuthi mhlawumbe imali singadibeka kanjani imali diphele labanye lesicelako njengamaphoyisa ningasithinza phela thina nangabe nihambisa leyo mali seniyakhona kuyothenga mhlawumbe letitolo ngoba lesikubunyele siya sekubona ithi imali isuka la mhlawumbe khona la khathi kulama Stokvel members sashaya incingo ukuthi imali seyisukile seyikuphi hamba noma bamba kanti ke nangabe nini nicela emaphoyisa ukuthi emaphoyisa an escort noma niyacela ukuthi awu maphoyisa namhla siyothenga sikamane na imali engaka sidabe sithenga kuphi akhona emaphoyisa utawakhipha umphathi wethu ahambe an escort niyothenga lela kufanele khona ngoba lonye siyesibone ngisho lekhathe titolo kunebantu nje bosha ukhulumile ngawo lashongo labanye bagcoka timbathu takwa lapho ekhathe titolo nansi niyathenga nina qhamuke nasende 70 sala khathe estolo nikhipha imali ninikete lo lenimneta kwasa asisebenzisa la khaya
sitothi thina iphini yakho ayatiwe nguwe utokhona ukuthi uvikele kwathi wena ukuthi lena imali yakho bese sengigcina nje bomkhosi sigcina ngalokuthi siyacela lokuthi nisibambise singemaswati buqala asibukoteni la kufanele khona nangabe uyathi ukuthi unebulikhuni bekubika lobo bucala lo tandla tivulekile ema-police station ukuthi nite nibupote lobo bucala lokho ke kuyawunisida ke Maswati ukuthi sikhone ukuthi bucala silwe sibunqobe.
The police requested that the residents make sure they keep constant communication with the police. They were also taught about the privacy of their PIN codes. A lot was taught to the residents. I am Nhlanhla Twala in a report compiled by Justice Lamini at Nyageni.
Well, that's all the news we had for tonight, but before ending tonight's bulletin, let's take a quick recap of our top stories that made headlines tonight. His Majesty King Yemaswati III jetted into the kingdom through the King Yemaswati III International Airport. Private investigator Mr. Hunter Shongwe is suing former Member of Parliament Maqhawe Mavuso for 1 million after defamatory statements. Two siblings were involved in a physical fight following a land dispute. That's all the news we had for tonight. Do have yourselves a beautiful evening. Good night.